I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. Karmelo Anthony may be cooked beyond belief.
Is that
now,
right?
we got some good news and bad news there. The good news is Karmelo Anthony conviction may be overturned. As a matter of fact, there's a pretty good chance his conviction will be overturned and he'll be headed back to trial for a second trial.
Is
The
that
bad
right?
news is that second trial may end up worse for him.
Yeah, I think I seen some shit on Twitter, bro. They talking about, I don't know how true it was, but Flacco probably finna get to it. But they saying Carmelo Anthony was texting his girlfriend or something, and they was talking about killing somebody or something, bro. So I don't know. I don't know how true that is. We go find out probably.
For a second trial. The bad news is that second trial may end up worse for him after what we heard today in court. This is terrible. Carmelo Anthony is almost certainly going to get a new trial because of these two things that are going for him. One, the original judge recused himself because after the verdict, he came out in support of the verdict. So now if they're filing an appeal or if they're filing a motion to overturn it, bro, you can't oversee that case. Like, cut it out. So he's off the case. Now, the second thing here is his attorney made a deal behind his back, essentially without him knowing.
Anthony's new team, a very high-profile team of lawyers, are arguing, though, that Carmelo's rights were violated during that jury trial several times. And we're going to talk about those arguments here in just a moment, including his right to a public trial. You'll remember that audio and video recordings of the proceedings were not allowed, and only a handful of media outlets like us were given credentials to be able to have someone in the courtroom to witness all of it. We had Cody Thomas from Court TV, you'll remember. And you only had about 24 people from the public who were allowed in that courtroom. Now, the judge who made the call as far as those restrictions on the case, he's actually been tossed from overseeing Anthony's appeal. Prosecutors and Carmelo's defense made what they're calling a gentleman's agreement not to insert character testimony into the case. Again, they're calling it a gentleman's agreement. The assistant district attorney for Collin County reportedly said that the deal went both ways because in exchange for not talking about Carmelo Anthony's ex-girlfriend, that text message, his life when he was still living in Louisiana, where he went to some sort of juvenile program for young people who struggle with anger, they say that there were things that the defense didn't bring up about Austin Metcalf's past.
The conviction is going to get overturned, okay? But that's not even what matters. What matters is what's next. Now, I'm not entirely convinced that Carmelo Anthony and his parents didn't know about this agreement, because when you listen to the parents' interviews after the conviction, they're like, yo, we were told we couldn't do certain things or bring up race, and we couldn't, do what we wanted to do. But this time around, we're going to do what we want to do and go about it how we want to go about it. So that's a hint that they kind of knew about this agreement already, but now they're playing it as Carmelo knew nothing about it. They violated Carmelo Anthony rights by entering into this agreement without Carmelo Anthony's knowledge, which is why certain things were not brought up. Now, here's the thing. I think, well, just common sense, right? If the prosecutors felt like this agreement would benefit Carmelo Anthony in any way or more, then they wouldn't do this, right? Obviously, the prosecutors believe that this agreement will benefit them equally as much as it will benefit Carmelo Anthony, if not more. Prosecutors were terrified of Austin Metcalf's past being exposed because they were terrified of the racial tension creeping through the doors of the court and affecting this case. There was 1,000 black folks outside who already suspected that Austin Metcalf and his brother were two racist little white boys who was picking on Carmelo Anthony, who was minding his business under a tent. And if this would have came out, if Austin Metcalf's past would have been exposed, it would have set the city on fire, man. You would have had every black person in that city outside that courtroom rioting. See, our intuition already told us Austin Metcalf was a little racist white boy. See, we didn't need them to confirm that he was a KKK-loving Hitler superfan. Okay, we didn't need to know this kid was a KKK-loving Hitler superfan. We already knew it by just looking at him. It's our intuition as black folks, okay? So the prosecutors enter into this agreement to stop the defense from bringing up the fact that Austin Metcalf and his brother Hunter, the twin brother, who, by the way, refused to testify in the court case, and now we know why he refused to testify. He was hiding from this. So Austin Metcalf and his brother Hunter were once caught spray painting graffiti, including KKK, kill all black people, and they spray painted Heil Hitler along with the N-word and were sentenced to 12 months of juvenile probation. This was not brought up in court due to this gentleman agreement stopping the defense attorneys from bringing this up.
So, what did he say Karmelo couldn't speak on? Was that had to do with like his cell phone? And that's it. I don't know. I don't think I was paying attention all the way, or maybe I just didn't understand what he was saying.
I personally think that this is just as damning at whatever they believe, they had on Karmelo Anthony. Just as damning. Okay. And the prosecutors are not entering into disagreement if they don't think this is going to benefit them more. I don't think the prosecutors is doing Karmelo Anthony any favor, right? So the reason why the defense attorney accepted this is because Karmelo Anthony sent a text to his ex-girlfriend. Now, this text was sent hours before, and the prosecutors believe that this text somehow implies motive in the Austin Metcalf stabbing.
I need to get to these text messages and evidence that prosecutors talked about today. And these are things that the jury did not know about. I mean, none of us knew about it until now. Right. You have local media outlets like WFAA and NBC DFW who are in the courtroom today for this hearing, who are giving information, live updates about a lot of the testimony that's happening. And we have to talk about what assistant...
See, this is where, you can admit where you're wrong, or you could just be a delusional motherfucker. See, this information didn't come out. You know what I'm saying? That could prove his premeditation. But up until this point, we never knew none of that. We never knew none of that. So now we getting hit with new information.
A lot of the testimony that's happening, and we have to talk about what Assistant District Attorney for Collin County, Bill Werski, had to say, and what he claims happened in the hours before this track meet on the day that Austin Metcalf lost his life. Because he says that Karmelo Anthony's girlfriend, hours before, told an assistant principal at their high school that the couple had broken up, and that she said she allegedly was afraid. She claimed that Karmelo Anthony was stalking her. WFAA says that the ADA also claimed today in the courtroom that Anthony was allegedly obsessed with guns, fights, and knives. And prosecutors allegedly have a text message that Anthony sent where he fantasized about stabbing someone and licking the blood off the blade.
What?
Listen, man, real niggas understand what that was, bruh. I know grown men who have been more emotional when the love of their life broke up with them. Man, I know grown men who threaten to kick the bucket the second they get broken up with, man. That's the way to get the girl back in your grip, man. Hey, listen, it's wrong, but that's just what some men do. Okay? Now, I've never done it, but that's just what some men do.
Nah.
So we understand what this was, but how you think it's going to play out in a second trial? How you going?
Little bro, what? Nah, he crazy. He's full blown crazy for that. He talk about he want to lick the blood. He's crazy. I get your girl left you. I feel that, but like, bro, you full blown crazy talking about lick some blood and shit, and you didn't actually did it because your girlfriend broke up with you. Nah, that's some whole other shit, bro. You ain't a nigga for real. You want some other shit.
I think these messages is going to play out. There's already implicit biases that exist against Karmelo Anthony simply because he's black. You bring up these messages in court. Oh, hold on. Oh yeah. Here are messages that shows he was bloodthirsty. That shows that, he wanted to use this knife. He fantasized about stabbing somebody and licking the blood off the knife. Oh,
yeah, that's some whole other shit, bro. We ain't heard none of that. You know what I'm saying? I can admit when I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? if that's the case, this little nigga is crazy. But I wasn't there, so I don't know how Austin Metcalf and them really walked up on him. They didn't put no hands on him. You know, the whole possibility was, oh, he could have got jumped in bodily injury. You know what I'm saying? That didn't happen though. This little nigga might be crazy.
By the way, a couple hours later, he did just die under that tent after being pushed. Come on, bruh.
Yeah.
How do you think this is going to play out?
He might be crazy.
I want Karmelo Anthony to get a second trial because I do believe this was a low racist white boy who attacked this kid because he don't like black people. It's simple as that, bro. The kid was under the tent minding his business. Nobody was complaining about the kid being under the.
Yeah, that's true too, bro. But they finna give it to him though, because regardless of what, man, what the fuck? It's 1 o'clock in the morning, bro. Don't tell me they finna be on some fuck shit outside. Fuck is that?
This was a low racist white boy who attacked this kid because he don't like black people. It's simple as that, bro. The kid was under the.
If that's the case, two wrongs made a right. A racist is locked up, and a crazy man is locked up. The racist is dead. Yeah, he ain't locked up. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Can you call this natural selection from the both of them? Probably so. Cause them Metcalf niggas, they wasn't even supposed to be at that track meet. They had got banned for doing some shit. Like they was suspended. They wasn't even supposed to be there. You know? So that was what was looking good for Karmelo. But the little nigga's crazy. The little nigga's crazy, bro. I can't defend that. And I won't. You know what I'm saying? If the little nigga crazy, he crazy.
I want Karmelo Anthony to get a second trial because I do believe this was a low racist white boy who attacked this kid because he don't like black people. It's simple as that, bro. The kid was under the tent minding his business. Nobody was complaining about the kid being under the tent. These two racist white boys came. They overpowered him. They're 6 foot, 200 plus pounds. This is a 5 foot 6, 130-pound kid.
Yeah.
And he feared for his life.
All that other shit don't matter when you got a text message like that on the same day, bro. Talking about you want to lick some blood. He said that same day. 2 hours before? Nah.
The kid never got up out his seat. He never got up out his seat.
It's nasty work, man.
So we know what this is, man. This is clear self-defense.
What?
But these messages to me is going to make the second trial even that much harder than the first trial.
Nah, bro.
I'm telling y'all this, man. If I'm Karmelo, hey, bro. Go sit down. Probably get out in 20 years. At 30.
Yeah, I think it's still a sticky situation, bro. But I don't. Even whenever I first heard about this and was reacting to it, it's not looking good for him though. Is it necessarily first degree murder? Now with that text message, they could definitely throw that at you. Up until that point though, I didn't think it was first degree murder. I don't think it was self-defense though. Especially if they didn't put no hands on you yet. You know what I'm saying? But the threat is there. The threat is there. So that's tough as fuck.
37 years old and start your life, man. But you risk doing life if you go back, bro. They might bury you for real. I wouldn't risk it, bro. We understand this is a grave injustice. We understand this is an injustice, bro. We understand what happens. See, but certain things, like certain nuances, can only be explained in our community. Bro, a lot of us looked at Austin Metcalf from day one and we could already tell what type of white boy that is, man. You see, when a kid dies, like for example, when Nolan Wells passed away, the first thing that happened was character references. Everybody had character references for Nolan Wells. The janitors at the school had a character reference for Nolan Wells. Oh my God, this kid was the best kid ever. Oh my God, this kid, no. This kid showed up when a special need kid was in the class. He made the entire class shut up so the special need kid can answer some questions, and then made the entire class clap it up for the special needs kid after he got the question right. He did that in the 5th grade. This kid been an angel. You could tell a good kid when he passed away. Man, Austin Metcalf died. I ain't seen not one character reference. Did y'all? Did y'all see any character references for Austin Metcalf?
Hell no, we heard about how bad he was.
Austin Metcalf died. I didn't see not one character reference. I didn't see a teacher come out and say this was a good kid. I didn't see the friends come out and say this was a good kid. Shit, I didn't even see the mama come out and say this here was a good kid. So we already know what's up. But I don't think Karmelo Anthony want to do no second trial, bro.
And he allegedly sent a text that said, quote, "I'm low-key on the verge." Anthony stabbed Austin Metcalf to death hours later. The jury never heard that. Now, the ADA also reportedly says that Anthony had gone to a program for juveniles when he was younger who struggle with anger. That was something.
Why the fuck are they trying to retrial it if they already gave him first-degree murder? If they just trying to make it worse? If there's no possibility and hope for it, why even try it again? Y'all already cooked him.
That was not presented in court during his trial. Now, this appears to be the reason that prosecutors and Karmelo's defense made what they're calling a gentleman's agreement not to insert character testimony into the case. Again, they're calling it a gentleman's agreement. The assistant district attorney for Collin County reportedly said that the deal went both ways because in exchange for not talking about Karmelo Anthony's ex-girlfriend, that text message, his life when he was still living in Louisiana, where he went to some sort of juvenile program for young people who struggle with anger, they say that there were things that the defense didn't bring up about Austin Metcalf's past. The ADA says that Metcalf allegedly put, quote, vile racist stuff on graffiti, and that was not presented to the jury. The defense alleges that Metcalf also had a history of being aggressive, and that was something that the defense for Karmelo Anthony, they weren't able to talk about during the trial. Now, the reason the prosecutor said that this deal was reached between both sides, it was not to add fuel to the fire. I mean, you saw the amount of attention during this trial.
So that was actually the stabbing video right there. That's crazy. Yeah, so he instantly ran off. I mean, bro, put yourself in his shoes. I can see that, bro. Like, you going through, you got a rough day. Somebody come fucking with you and you already on the verge, nigga. Like he said, like, that's all it take. Like, I'm not saying that's necessarily wrong. You know? It's not gonna look good when that's literally documented, bro. But we all feel like that at times. You know what I'm saying? You going through it right now. It's not a good day. You know what I'm saying? And next nigga try some dumb shit. You ready to punch him? Let alone you feel like your life is on the line, bro. You know what I'm saying? You might smoke him, especially when you outnumbered. And those kids wasn't even supposed to be at that track meet. Come on.
Individuals that typically aren't covering true crime. I mean, there was political talk of this. This made its way into racial discussions in this country.
It sounds like Austin Metcalf was campaigning and got elected. I'm sorry, bro. Right? Now, death is permanent. Death is sacred. You feel me? Like, I don't want to make light of anybody's death. But it sounds like he was campaigning and got elected. Racist little white boy with aggression issues, a known bully, picked on a 5'6" paranoid kid with epilepsy and anger issues. Yeah, that's not wise. Who got a knife? Yeah, that's not wise. Yeah. That's not the kid you want to pick on. You campaigned and got elected. Carmelo Anthony shouldn't have to do life in prison behind this at all. Now, the experts are discussing this, and people are like baffled. Like they're like absolutely baffled and disgusted that, Carmelo Anthony's defense team would even enter into this agreement.
Especially in a high-profile case like this, for there to be some sort of handshake deal on you don't do this and we won't do that and we'll just go forward, as opposed to what evidence should lawfully come before the jury and what evidence should not lawfully come before a jury. That's the way it's done, like in almost every other case, which, again, that in and of itself could become a problem here. And what do? We bring in members of the public to come in. They don't sign up for it. They don't volunteer. It's part of their civic duty, but they come in and their job is to figure out the truth. And then we keep important facts away from them. So are we really like a search for justice is supposed to be a search for the truth. But how do you get to a search for the truth when significant facts and factors, and like you said, context, are kept from the jury? They really can't do their jobs. And this is one place where I've for years, I've railed against the system. I've always said more is better in front of the jury. They're always doing this test of prejudicial versus probative, and we sort of shield and put blinders on the jury so often. But I think jurors are smart, and I think they can put things in perspective, but sometimes we don't allow them. But usually, and again, to me, the real problem here is that it was not a judge making this decision. It was the prosecution and the defense making this gentleman's type of old school agreement. That's strange.
Yeah.
That's bizarre. And there's a reason why it's old school. It shouldn't be part of any new school. It shouldn't be part of the way a case is tried, right? You want the evidence in, put it in front of the judge and let the judge decide whether or not it should lawfully come in.
Yeah, what are they even doing, bro? Moving quick, I mean, but it doesn't look good, like I don't even think it needs to go to trial again unless they're gonna look at giving him less time or something. That's the only possibility, like.
And based upon,
I already gave him first-degree murder. How much worse is it gonna get from that? No parole, like how much were you gonna give him another life sentence? Like
what the law and the case law of the state is. And then if that judge made a mistake, let the court above them, the appellate court, take a look at it. Don't figure it out for yourselves, because it's not good for the people of the state, for the prosecution. You're not doing them any justice, and you're not doing justice for your client either.
Well, I think
Austin Metcalf defenders would tell you that Carmelo Anthony texted what he texted to, his ex-girlfriend about the knives. By the way, the ex-girlfriend is still, quote unquote, holding him down, right? Like she's still tweeting, "Is us to the end," after Carmelo Anthony was sentenced. So they would tell you that, Carmelo Anthony texting what he texted to his ex-girlfriend is an indication that Carmelo Anthony.
If that's the case, you would have gave him some good words of encouragement. Encouragement when he told you he was on the verge, instead of feeding his fire, though. You know what I'm saying? How are you holding it down for this nigga on Twitter, though? On Facebook? Like, get the fuck out of here. Where was you when I told you I was on the verge of doing this stuff? Like, what the fuck?
He wanted to murder Austin Metcalf, but Austin Metcalf spray paint and kill all black people is not an indication, right, that Carmelo Anthony's life was in danger when he put his hands on Carmelo Anthony. You see how the double standard work here? So it's not double. Again, Austin Metcalf spray painting what he wanted to do to all black people and worship.
Yeah, I understand that, but until a hand is placed on you, bro, in a court of law, they ain't gonna do nothing. You can't do nothing.
In the field art student is not an indication that Carmelo Anthony's life may have been in danger with him and his brother in a confined space with like Carmelo Anthony.
But then again, that is if he knew that for sure, you know what I'm saying? That's definite in your defense, you know? But I just don't see them giving that to him, bro.
Again, instigating a conflict and pushing Carmelo Anthony. That's not an indication, but Carmelo Anthony saying in text messages, y'all just say y'all don't like this kid and just just wash your hands and keep it pushing. Because again, the double standard is always contradictory. What is your belief system?
Flacco was evil for this type of journalism. That boy's pandering real hard right now, not gonna lie. I think it's over for Carmelo. Not gonna lie. Like, even if that's how you feel, bro, you want to tell yo shorty, you play stupid games, win dumb prizes. Yeah, you learned to never do that again. You won't even get the opportunity to do it again. That's tough. You know? This is just a tough situation. You know? But I don't see them giving that to him because he didn't get a single hand placed on him. You gotta get hit first. You gotta get jumped first, and then you can come with the force. Then it's justified. The fact that he just wrote "kill all N-words" and "we the KKK" ain't good enough to just kill him. When you see him type shit, or when he says something to you, ain't good enough. It proves fear. It proves motive. Or it proves your self-defense after you done already got. You know what I'm saying?
If the messages
Carmelo won, he's still alive, I guess.
prove intent, then that graffiti and that criminal record prove intent.
It's being locked up in a jail cell. I personally, bro, if I knew most definitely they would never let me out, bro, just go ahead, take me out. Give me the needle or some shit, bro. I don't want to be in this bitch locked up for the rest of my life. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, bro. You talk about I gotta go to the shoe when I get in a fight, or I get caught with some contraband or something, or y'all want to plant some contraband on me or beat my ass. Like, bro, I got a homie that's been locked up in the feds. Like, I got homies that's been locked up, did hella time, still doing time. Like, nigga, I don't want to be there. If I know I'm doing life for show, bro, just go ahead and just go ahead and give it to me, bro. That ain't no way to live, bro. Yeah, he's alive, but that ain't no way to live, bro. That ain't no way to live, bro.
You see, Carmelo Anthony only talked about it. Austin Metcalf actually did it at some point. Y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, man? All right? Who do you guys think the original?
Yeah, let's go to the comment section. Read a couple more comments. Carmelo messages about stabbing someone and look at the blood in October 2024 and not the same. So that was in 2024, not the same day of the stabbing. The fact that media mixed these messages up like that is crazy, but not shocking. Yeah. Yeah, you never know what to believe on this shit, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? The text was out of context. They debunked it in court. The rest of the text was seen. So if that's the case, it was actually from fucking 2024, then that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. What Austin Metcalf did is actually more relevant to the case than what Carmelo Anthony did. What he said in that text message, because it has no correlation. It's not the same day. That's not what the people saying in the comments, at least. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't the same day. In fact, it was actually a year, 2 years before. So that doesn't mean anything. So actually, them taking it back to trial could actually help them, and that's probably the reason why they are taking it back to trial. Yeah, I don't think Flacco did too good. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. We on the road to 1 million. If you ain't hit that like button, subscribe button, and turned on all notifications, slap the dog shit about yourself, because that's the first thing you should have did when you clicked on this video. I get it y'all in the next one, and I'm gone. TYP tonight.